Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's report. Is for the 4th of September. Well, as we talked about just the other day, we had our positive extreme value right here, and 33.9350 was the low. We could say the close was at 34.27. What was the low right here? 34.24. Interesting. And we had a dip all the way to 26 overnight so far. It's still a little early, but okay, everyone was talking about the panic or whatever. There was no panic with this. We expected at least a minimum return to the ABM yellow. Particularly, we were seeing, softness coming down through here. We had the rising shorts, and we knew we were in an extended area that just doesn't hold up. So I guess it was shocking for some, but again, we've always talked about the liquidation aspect of people moving out is much faster than the rise. You can take weeks to go up and one day to drop the entire thing because markets fall 66% faster than they rise. You might be noticing the somewhat new configuration. I succumbed to the download of TradeStation 10 just to try out whether or not it could handle. I wasn't thrilled with the some of the alterations the platform made, but we're giving it a shot. We'll let it see how it works out going from there. But so far, it took a little while to put everything together, but it's worked. I don't know why we have that on a weekly, but interesting to see. And this is where we get time frame. We can go to daily. See how quickly it does that. That wasn't too bad. So, daily from an NQ standpoint. Likewise, so DOC spread forming right there, but full reset of the DOC steel from here. But of course, it's got to give up 13.5 before we finish with a step down move. So, not completely satisfied. Also, positive extreme though from the NQ standpoint. 11.528, and we hit 11.658. And then before we were at 11.582. So from our effective 80% of full retrace, the NQ has met that target, which is not surprising because the NQ has outperformed, and so why shouldn't it outperform to the opposite direction? Of course it would. From a gold, we flip to the little futures contract right there in the mini size, exactly the same as GLD ETF, so no difference at all. I was interested to see if there was any aspect change, but no. And from the euro standpoint, still maintaining its hold right around the ABM yellow value. Pretty much neutralizes. It's a little bit weaker right now. We may even see a little bit more softness go back to. It really depends on whether we see any real significant change from the U.S., which doesn't appear to be happening anytime soon. So the election ramp up is going to begin as odds in that change. That's where we're going to get our volatility, and I think that you'll see a lot of different things related to that. I think that, everyone's asking about the drop from before. I mean, what you had was an outside move to call buyers and that forcing a lot of institutions to buy stocks, but that was just and then you saw the inverse reaction on VIX with the rise, and that resulted in, nice bump, but as soon as that happened, once the liquidation started, there was just no one there to pick it up, and why would you until you get that fill of your positive extremes that satisfy where the algos left off. If we look at it from an intraday, quite interesting. It was mostly just pretty outsized down action for the large part of everything. Here we are right now in post-market. We're up 19 off those lows from before, so not bad. This happens to be, I believe, the power cross that I've been working on, where it just is showing buy configurations when they start up. It's not following them from a trend standpoint, but just each new buy, because it just lasts for a few bars and then turns back to red, just to give the impetus of where you would get new buy setups developing and taking in some of those various degrees of alteration and working out the best possible combinations in relation DOC, Shakeout, and Power Mode 2. It is interesting on the TradeStation 10, the Power Mode 2, where on the older version, the Azure color shows up clean Azure. This one shows up as very pale blue, so I'll have to come up with an alternative because the dark blue is too much. So I may just have to use one of the customized colors that they have built in, and we'll see if we can get a little bit more clarity from that one so that it's just a little bit more visually appealing. Who knew? Because the language is pretty set, and I thought it was just some people's screens, but no, it's clearly the 10 program versus the 9.1 that was before, so interesting. As always, though, I will update the Skype chat with relevant details. Started posting a couple of these charts and that, so we'll make those adjustments as time goes on. Trade well.